On July 13th, 2025, I finally hit my goal of 3 sets of 10 freestanding handstand push-ups. Less than 2 years ago, I had just hit my first handstand push-up away from a wall. Here's everything I've learned over those 2 years that helped me get my original handstand push-up and how I was able to crush it and build loads of strength and balance. The first one is honestly pretty boring, so apologies if you've heard this a million times before, but having patience, being consistent with it, and having a proper plan was crucial for me to do this. It would be roughly every 4 days I would be going in and attempting either my progressions or building up reps of my handstand push-ups. So you just have to stick the course, slowly progress over time, and do everything you need to do to get it done. Now, let's talk a bit about the sexy stuff, and that's my 3-part formula to actually get my first freestanding handstand push-up. To do so, I needed strength, I needed balance, and then I needed to put it all together. So the freestanding handstand needed to happen if I was ever going to do a freestanding handstand push-up, so getting that covered was important. I was basically doing handstands every morning and then at the start of all of my push workouts. On top of that, I was also doing elevated pike press to build up some strength and just get a solid foundation for my shoulders, because no matter how many handstands I do, I would need to be able to push myself from the bottom. The third part, and honestly the most important, were negative handstand push-ups. Once I added this in after I was able to do significant amounts of pike press, this helped me just skyrocket my progress quickly. I would go up, I would do an every minute on the minute of lowering myself down, putting my head onto a towel, and then just coming out, kicking up, and starting all over again. And then at the very end, when I was starting to feel more confident, I would try to push myself out of the movement. So as I came to the bottom, I would attempt to push myself out instead of pushing myself up, just to get a little bit more exposure to having to do another half of the movement after you lower yourself down. Then, one time magically at the end of a 10-minute, every minute on the minute, I was magically able to push myself and then maintain my balance and actually pushed myself up to the very top and completed my first handstand push-up. Now, don't click off the video if you're a calisthenics purist and think I'm some sort of CrossFitter because I'm talking about every minute on the minute training. This has been one of those pivotal modalities I've added to my training in order to get the freestanding handstand push-up and then add rep after rep after rep. Doing this has built some conditioning and just getting the fluidity of the motion over and over and over again that has built up conditioning to allow me to then build up my reps over time. What started off as one negative handstand push-up turned into one regular handstand push-up, into 2 reps of handstand push-ups, into 3. Doing this slowly over time and increasing the reps here would then lead into my sets of handstand push-ups going from 3 reps to 4 to 5 to 6 and so on. Because if I could do it while fatigued at the end of a 10-minute set doing 3 reps, then doing 3 reps at a fresh set would feel pretty easy. So doing that was building up conditioning and slowly helping me to build up my overall capacity to do the freestanding handstand push-up. Going down into a handstand push-up and losing your balance is kind of awful because then you have to readjust and then force yourself up to the very top. So having efficient sets is very critical. This was one of those things I definitely was focusing on near the end of my journey, and that's just making sure that for the same amount of time and effort I was putting into each set, I was able to get more reps. So I was able to quickly go down, hit the bottom of my movement, and then spring back up to the top, and then start downward again. And that's by just doing the movement and getting used to it, greasing the groove. All of those every minute on the minutes, just getting efficient as possible within the movement pattern. So that way I was having less time that I would have to readjust and deal with the balance portion of the movement. It's both a strength and a balance movement, which means if you get more efficient at the balance portion of it, you are able to do more reps in the same period of time, getting me ever so closely to that goal. And that's it. All my tips and tricks I use to get the freestanding handstand push-up and hit my goal of 3 sets of 10. Now I have future goals to build up that strength even further, but that's for another video. Hopefully there's something in here that you can use in your training. and progress and hit all the goals that you guys have. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. I really love seeing that number go up, so I know that it's helpful for you guys. And leave a comment down below. Was there anything that you're going to use from this video in your training, or anything that you've been successful with that you want to share with others? Subscribe to the channel for future videos, and have a good day, everyone. Go crush those handstand push-ups and try not to smash your face.